Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Matt Horn
is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Checking in with you, seeing if you bought the game yet. You know, it's a virtual, crazy game, man. I hope you are either at the store. No, you're probably not at the store because of the virus, but you're probably on your computer somewhere trying to buy it on Amazon or somewhere. But I'm just checking in, man, to see if you got it. It's me as Eli Vance. Robert Guillaume used to be Eli Vance, but of course, you know, he passed away in 2017. But this is a great game, man. Ozema is on it. Michael Shapiro's on it. Let me know, man, if you bought the game. Let me know what you think. And get back to me soon. Hope all is well.
On the line, we have James Moses Black talking to us from... Where are you talking to us from, James?
I am talking to you from California. More specifically, Culver City, California, and the county of Los Angeles.
Which lockdown district is that?
All of LA is locked down right now. You know, we're locked down unless it's something essential like groceries or car or something. But I'm in Culver City next to Sony Studios.
Ooh, okay. So, obviously, this is going on about COVID-19, the elephant in the room, as it were. What's it been like for you, James?
You know, listen, man, I think it's just been sort of something that we all have to come to reality about. It's been sort of enlightening. Overall, I can't complain about my indoor experience so much, but I just hope they get a grasp on this disease so that we can slow the rate of mortality down across the world.
Obviously, this has conjured up two terms, which I don't like using on this podcast. Self-isolation, social distancing. Yes. What's it been like for you keeping 2 meters away from everybody?
I'm a social person, but I'm used to keeping my distance in a sense. I don't crowd people in a normal life. But it's been kind of weird going to like the grocery store or something like that. I bought a ton of wine, which I thought I was going to drink in a month. That hasn't happened yet. But it's just a weird thing, putting a mask on, driving around, and just watching people be cautious about what they do and overly cautious about what they do. But I get it. People are scared a little bit.
I do have to ask the question, are you fully stocked up?
Oh, yeah, I got enough wine till about 2020, 2021. Yeah. All I need is wine and Cheerios. That's it.
And a good VR game.
Yeah, right. That's all I need.
Which brings us very, very nicely to... Wow. I genuinely never thought I would ever be saying, here is a new Half-Life game that people can buy now.
Right.
It's Half-Life Alyx. It's come out already, and people have said that they love it. And I want to say this. I'm not going to give any spoilers away if you've not played it. How much do you know about the script, James?
Well, you know, they did it in such a way that they covered myself and they covered Alyx and myself and a little bit of G-Man, and then they kept everything else kind of on the hush. You know, I did my scenes. Most of my scenes were with my daughter on screen or in virtual, which was Ozema. So her and I did most of our scenes separately. That's all they gave away to me. You know, I signed an NDA saying I wouldn't discuss it until the game came out, and then I still don't know what the game is about. You know, I'm not a big gamey person, but I keep seeing the reviews that people love it. And you remember, it's been like 12 years since the game came out, you know?
One of the things I will have to mention here, and I'm not going to give any spoilers away, the ending. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. One of the things I will say is, wow, I hadn't even considered that would be the way they went. And it literally retcons the series in such a beautiful, clever, oh my God, this is not happening way. And I cried at the end of it because I thought, bravo, absolutely bravo.
Oh, good. I think I know the scene that you're talking about. It's amazing. I did another game called LA Noire. It was a big game. But this game was kind of cool because you don't always see a relationship in virtual acting. You know what I mean? Okay, you have characters, but now this is a daughter and father trying to save one another. So that was the thing for me that made it more real for me, if that's a good word, and made it not just a game, but a situation, if that makes sense to you.
Can I ask a question? And the fans will probably want to know the answer to this. Obviously, Robert Guillaume?
Robert Guillaume.
Robert Guillaume did the original Half-Life 2 voice acting for Eli Vance. Is it you at the end?
Yeah, they had me sort of mimic his voice a little bit, just so there could be some continuity with the previous game 12 years ago. And then it got to a point where, it was more interesting to hear me sort of have his subtleties of his voice than me trying to impersonate him all the way. You know what I mean? I had my own style of it.
Because obviously he'd done the original recordings, and then obviously they've got you because he has since passed. Obviously, we should mention. Right. Did you find it hard to sort of step into that?
No, I think the hardest part for me was convincing them that, yes, I could impersonate this person, but I can't impersonate this person's feelings, what they brought to the table individually. I bring Eli Vance to the table differently than Robert brought Eli to the table. So, yeah, I can impersonate his voice, but the inflections, because of situations, would be different. And I think that was probably the most challenging thing. Robert Guillaume here in the States, he's an old-time comedian. And I'm not saying old-time, but he's a comedian who came up with guys like, Robin Williams, Richard Pryor, Lenny Bruce. I forgot the other guy's name. But this is a guy from way back. His most famous things were this a series called Soap and Benson. So this guy had a legacy of performing in comedic roles as well as serious roles. I looked at it, and it was just inspirational because I knew him years before he died. I'd met him when I was a waiter. And Will Smith's dad from The Fresh Prince, I met them two together. And then we were friends long before this thing came about for me. So, like I said, the most challenging thing was just bringing my own sort of interpretation to Half-Life instead of his, because that's impossible.
Had you played the game in order to get that feeling?
No, the directors on the game were really well about acquainting me with all the circumstances. I viewed the game as we went along, so I could do those things. I could have those sort of emotions about my daughter, about the situation, about finding. And again, I don't want to blow up anybody's chance to go and play it. About finding what was actually there, what we were actually looking for. So I got to see the game as I performed the game, or Eli Vance's character. So I got to see the game in motion as I was doing it. So that was it. I didn't see anything else about the game, just my parts. For the most part of it, it connected really well.
Because obviously the original's about a scientist who puts a load of material into an electronic thing and it opens a portal to another world.
Right. And now you have to close it,
Don't give it away. Obviously, we need to mention that Michael Shapiro's back after a 12-year hiatus. I think you mentioned it before, of playing the G-Man. And obviously, yet again, the fans have obviously flocked, played it, and then gone back to the forums and gone, where is this going? What is his character? Why is he there?
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, to come back to the game just says something about the creation of the game and the longevity of the game. That people actually want to come back. And I know a couple people, Meryl couldn't come back. She's on a series that I did called Greenleaf, and then she's doing some other stuff. But just to come back to this series, I think is a tribute to how they built the game up. Again, if you see the game now, man, it's crazy. Just the scenes that I saw were crazy. And I think that's the inspiration for, Shapiro coming back and me getting involved. It's just the history of the game, that's all.
I mean, he was there from day one.
Yeah, he was there from day one.
There's been talk of a Half-Life film in development for years. I'm going to say it's years. And the sort of track record of video game adaptations hasn't really gone well until Sonic the Hedgehog came about this year, which blew it out of the water. I thought it was fantastic. There's talk of, obviously, Bad Robot doing it, producing it, which is interesting in itself. What are your thoughts on such a film being made? And secondly, who do you think should or could play Eli Vance?
The climate of movies, per se, and theaters, it's going to change now. I've always thought that an interactive experience at a movie theater is the best thing that hasn't happened yet. And what I mean by that is you go in to a movie theater and you say, okay, they give you the plot, and for some reason you can select an ending or select something before the movie begins. And they shoot all this stuff and they make it all available, but it's the audience who wants to see a particular ending or character in it. And to me, that's interactive. And I think that's the new wave that's coming. Movie theaters are going to be, in essence, a virtual experience. That's how I see it when these releases come along, because the old way of viewing a movie theater, I think, is going to change, merely because of the virus, for one. And then, people want to be more involved in a movie, in terms of what they get to see. It's great when you see a movie that's already done and boom, okay, it's out. But what if you could have a selective thing where every person, you have these movie seat booths now and you can order your food. What if you get to choose an ending? And it has to be, of course it has to be a winning percentage. 50% or 51% say they want it this way and other percentage want it that way. I think that would be an interesting thing for, a concept to bring to movie theaters. Resident Evil, I guess, did okay in movie theaters, and it was a game at first. I think the person that would play me, because I could play me too, or Eli, I think the best person in my world would probably be, the only person I'd like to see is Idris Elba.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he is sort of, he's like myself in acting. He's so chameleon-like. You know what I mean? He's just a guy that can come in at every angle. I'd like to see, if it wasn't me, I think it would be Idris Elba.
I was thinking Morgan Freeman, but...
It's a good thought, man. It's a good thought. It's a good thought, but nah, Morgan wouldn't do it for me.
Okay. Well, obviously you mentioned about films being more interactive. Isn't that essentially what VR is trying to do?
Yeah, basically that's what they're trying to do. The LA Noire game I did was supposed to be like that, but I'm saying as a wider audience, just not you at home, but you and maybe 50 others in a theater getting to choose that type of thing. That's what I'm talking about. That's the way, I think, another way that theater could go.
I do have to ask this question. I'm contractually obliged, unfortunately, James.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go, no! You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
At the end of the game of Half-Life Alyx, it's left open-ended, obviously.
Uh-huh.
There's been talk of Half-Life 2 Episode 3 for donkey's years, but then there's also been talk of Half-Life 3. So, with that in mind, do you know anything?
I am the wizard of all knowledge. I know nothing. Again, man, I would think that the success of the game and how successful the game has been since its release, I would say there's going to be another one. That's just me. That's probably me just wanting another paycheck, basically. I would think there would be another one, man. I would just hope that it wouldn't be 12 years from now.
I mean, the funny thing is, I suppose, is the fact that it was kept quiet. It was kept quiet for so long, and people were thinking, when's Half-Life 2 Episode 3 going to come out? And Valve were like, no, we can't tell you. And then, obviously, the 20th anniversary comes around, and then, of course, Half-Life Alyx comes out and reboots the franchise almost.
They were a little bit intimidated by the years that had passed. They didn't know if they still had that audience. They were really on pins and needles about their new audience, yet they were also concerned about their old audience and whether it would be acceptable, especially with Eli Vance being gone and then Merrill leaving and then a couple other people coming in to substitute myself and Ozima. I knew that they were concerned about that. But I also knew that they were really happy with the quality of performances that we provided.
To go from, like a story-driven game like that to VR is a pretty bold move.
Right.
The fact is, the reviews for it are saying that it is the best VR out there right now.
Again, I haven't played the game, and this might sound crazy, but I'm not a big gamer for my profession. Of course, I'm an actor, and then I write as well. But yeah, I think that's the thing that really took it over to the top. Was it is a game. It's a game, but it almost, to me, it took the level of really a scripted, and it is scripted, but a scripted action live action movie. You know what I mean? Without the silliness of what we come to know as games.
Obviously, let's talk a bit about you, James, you yourself.
Sure.
Yep. What made you want to get into acting in the first place?
I hated corporate America. I don't usually use the word hate, but I just hated corporate America. And there was so much scrambling by people to walk on top of each other to get to this place. And corporate America makes a bunch of people desperate, I mean, and unless that's your thing, if that's your structure of life, great. It wasn't for me. I've always been an entertainer, man. My mother, my family, we have entertainers all in our family. Antoine Fuqua was my cousin. Della Reese was my cousin. So we've got entertainers all in our family. I was just probably the next generation of it that, went to college to be a doctor and ended up getting 2 degrees because I didn't want to be a doctor anymore. And then getting into corporate America because it was the dream of my family to graduate from college. And then I realized I was pursuing someone else's dream. And then I fell into acting in Minneapolis, man. It was almost like an accident, And then from there, I got more training in San Francisco, and then all of a sudden I end up in Los Angeles. And that's the short order of it.
What advice would you give to anyone wanting to pursue a career in the industry?
It's something that you have to love. It is something that you can't necessarily look at it as a fan and want to be it because you see the fame, or you see, in some cases, the glamour or the money that comes along with it. What comes along with pursuing something like acting is failure, is being broke, but you always have a zeal if you love it. You always can pursue it if you love it. If you don't love it, then things like money, things like uncertainty will enter into your life, and you'll find yourself doing something else. And kudos to those who realize that they can do it, and kudos to those who realize that they can't do it. But to me, the underlying factor is loving what you do. And if you love what you do, I think someone said you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, obviously, you've been in a number of different projects. Which actors and actresses have been your favourites to work with and why? And who would you like to work with in the future?
Wow, that's a good question, Matt Horn. Let me see. Who inspired me? Well, actresses. Meryl Streep, Robin Williams, and I'm talking across the board. James Brown, Sammy Davis, Richard Pryor, Denzel Washington for sure. Tom Hanks. I saw Tom Hanks do Philadelphia with Denzel Washington. I was sold. Who would I like to work with? I'd love to work with Martin Scorsese. Now, I don't think I've seen Martin work with too many black dudes, but I know he's capable. But I'd love to work with Scorsese as a director. I'd love to work with Abrams as a director, McQueen as a director, Ava DuVernay as a director, and then actors, man. I think I'd like to go up against Daniel Craig for some reason, man, and not as a villain or an antagonist or protagonist, whatever. Just to go against that cat. I'd like to get on screen with what's her name? I just mentioned her. Meryl Streep. I'd love to get on screen with her. Also, probably De Niro. I'd love to get on screen with. Yeah, those are kind of my people that I would like to get on screen with. Oh, the lady from she was in Fences with Denzel Washington. She's a really good actor. She was on a show for ABC here in the States called Murder something, but she's really good. Yeah, that's my list right there.
In terms of projects you've actually worked on, who have been your favourites to work with?
This is one of your homegirls, Naomi Harris. You know, we shot Black and Blue together. You know Naomi Harris? She's Money Penny in the Bond movies.
Yes.
She was super nice, man. I really enjoyed working with her on a project we did called Black and Blue. She was super nice. I love Danny DeVito. I did a show here in the States called Sunny in Philadelphia. And that whole crew they were just great to work with. I had actually worked with Michael B. Jordan and Corey Hawkins when they were young, and then all of a sudden, Michael B. Jordan's almost like everywhere. I played their, sort of father figures. Those guys were, back in the day, great to work with as well.
Here's a question that always bugs people. I don't know why. What roles have you not done yet that you would like to do?
I've been watching the, what's its name? The new thing that Jon Favreau came out with in conjunction with Lucasfilms, The Mandalorian. I would like to play an incredibly great criminal that you didn't know whether he was a criminal or he was for a greater good. That's what I would like to play. Yeah, a guy who you just can't determine whether he's good or whether he's bad.
Well, that's what villains are nowadays, aren't they?
Yeah.
I do have to ask this question. Feel free to turn it down, obviously.
All right.
You were in Logan.
Uh-huh.
There's a rumour I keep hearing in the echelons of Hollywood that I can't seem to get out of my head at all. And every time Hugh Jackman's mentioned in this podcast, I do have to ask the question. Is it true that he buys lottery tickets for the cast and crew on any film?
Well, if he did, I didn't get one. That's for sure. You know what I mean? I didn't get a lottery ticket. When we shot in New Mexico. I definitely didn't get a lottery ticket. I got a rash. I got heat stroked a little bit, but I didn't get a lottery ticket. And if that was hitting the lottery, man, I didn't win. He's a nice guy, though, man. I wouldn't put it past him. He did buy people something. I just didn't remember what it was. And then they gave us sort of this Bose system, the speaker system, as a part of the cast and crew. But I wouldn't put that past him. He's a great dude.
Speaker system?
I think JBL made it, or Bose made it. And you plug it in, and it would, like, fill a room. Now they do, like, Sonos is what its replacement is now. But, again, this was, what was this, 2016, 2015 when we made Logan? Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I think, what was his name who directed that? I forgot his name, man. But he was kind of a dictator. If we did get any gifts, if the crew or cast did get any gifts, I would assume that they came from Jack himself.
Yeah, it's James Mangold, if it helps.
Mangold, yes. James Mangold, yeah. Yeah, he was the tyrant, so I don't know if anything came from him.
You can't say that, James.
Matt, I do projects, and then I let them go.
Yeah.
I let them go.
Well, James, I'm going to give you a 1 minute plug, okay? A 1 minute plug to plug Half-Life Alyx and anything else you've got coming up, because I can see there's a few things coming up.
Listen, go get the game. I'm going to get the game soon, as soon as we break on this climate of this virus. But I just been hearing the game's sensational. I got a call from one of the people over there, and they said it was a great thing. So that's good. And then I've got a show coming out on Amazon Prime. I hope it comes out in September. It's called Narcos versus Zombies. A real sci-fi flick. We already shot the first 8, so we're into the second year of it. We go back to shooting in September if disease permits. And then I shot a movie probably a couple of months ago called Lansky, and it's about Meyer Lansky, who was sort of the accountant for the mob that's being shopped around right now. It's funny, man. When they first came to me with the job, they said, "Hey, man, how would you like to be in a mob movie?" And I said, "Hey, man, ain't no black people in the mob." And they're like, no, you're not a mob person, James. I was like, oh, okay. You're part of the FBI. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because, you figure a black dude in the mob in the 50s and 60s didn't live long. So I was like, man, I'll pass on that one. But it ended up being a really good one. I got to work with a couple of cool people, so that was good. But yeah, man, that's what I got coming up. Anything you can do to support. And if you haven't seen Black and Blue, stream it. I believe it's on Apple TV. It's on Netflix, and I think it's on Prime. So if you want to see some of my action roles, please tune in.
There's also another project I'm seeing on your list called Blackline, which is in post-production, according to this.
Yeah. Believe it or not, we shot that probably 2 years ago, man. Maybe 3. Everybody had some conflicting schedules. I don't know when that'll be released. So that's all I got on that one.
I'm not going to say anything more, but go and buy Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, baby.
Yeah.
Go and get it. Did you enjoy the game? I mean, you cried at the end, so I'm assuming that you liked the game. And what really got you about the game?
The interactivity. Yeah, the interactivity. And that bit that we can't mention.
Yeah. That we both know.
The bit where you have to grab certain things that are in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, James, it's been a pleasure interviewing you.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for having me on the show, the podcast. Sorry it took us so long to get together, but it's done now.
Thanks very much for your time, James.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.